Begin by noting the orientation of the shock. Do a visual inspection to see if there are any washers that may drop out once the mounting bolts are removed. If needed, take several pictures of the shock and mounting points to ensure it is reinstalled correctly. Remove the bolts that secure the upper and lower eyelets to the frame. Be careful, once the bolts are removed, the frame and the rocker arm may want to swing away from the shock and it could smash into the frame. Place the bolts in a safe spot so they are not misplaced. Slowly slide the shock out. Sometimes you may have to wiggle the shock out of the frame. Be prepared to catch any mounting spacers. Place the mounting spacers, if any are present, in a safe spot for installation. Before proceeding with the installation of the shock, clean all the pivot areas first. Refer to any pictures you may have taken before the removal and make a mental note of the shock's orientation. Lightly grease the shaft of all bolts to prevent corrosion down the road. Usually, it is easier to install the shocks with the lower eyelet first. Place the lower eyelet in its mounting location. Install any spacers that may have been removed during the removal process. Sometimes it helps by greasing the mounting surface and having the spacers stick to the mounting surface and running a bolt halfway through to hold the spacer while you line up the shock. Move on to the upper eyelet and install any mounting spacers that may have been removed. Slide the shock bolt into its location and thread the bolt on loosely. With both upper and lower eyelets mounted into the frame, you can now refer to the recommended torque specs of the bolts by the bicycle manufacturer and tighten the bolts to the required torque spec. This concludes shock install.